The Philippines is witnessing one of its largest public demonstrations in years, as more than 500,000 people gathered in Manila to demand accountability over a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal. And in this explainer, we look at what triggered this mass outrage, how it is tied to a dramatic power struggle in the country's leadership, and what these protests could mean for the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. On Sunday, the influential religious organization Iglesia Ni Cristo, known as INC, launched a 3-day protest, demanding a proper and transparent investigation into allegations that billions in flood control funds were siphoned off through the awarding of rigged contracts. The INC's decision to challenge the administration is a dramatic reversal, as the group supported Marcos during the 2022 presidential race and is known for its powerful bloc voting influence. The corruption allegations intensified anger already building after weeks of deadly flooding, and the president's own July speech exposing ghost projects that left communities underwater and vulnerable. According to testimony at congressional hearings, lawmakers and public works officials took kickbacks of 25% to 30% from construction firms, as they secured lucrative contracts through manipulated bidding processes. Government figures show that over the last 15 years, the equivalent of $26 billion was spent on flood mitigation, but only $3 billion in suspected proceeds has been frozen so far. Televised investigations exposing these schemes have added pressure on Marcos, whom critics accuse of moving too slowly and possibly shielding political allies, including his cousin, former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Behind the outrage lies a deeper confrontation between President Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte, once allies but now divided, with Duterte loyalists using the scandal as leverage to call for Marcos's removal before 2028. INC leaders insist they are not part of any removal campaign, yet their massive presence in the streets makes them a decisive political force that neither side can ignore. By Monday evening, INC declared the protest concluded a day early, claiming their message had been delivered and signaling they remain open to negotiation. Alongside the INC rally, about 2,000 Duterte supporters, including retired generals, held a separate demonstration at the People Power Monument, calling for Marcos to resign immediately. Yet turnout fell short of expectations, and by midday Monday the crowd had dissipated without achieving its goal, revealing divisions within the broader opposition. Meanwhile, center-left political blocs staged their own rallies, including a run against corruption protest, insisting on accountability while refusing to join Duterte-aligned calls for regime change. The palace has dismissed calls for Marcos's removal as coming from a very small group, and has pledged to monitor any attempts to destabilize the government. However, in a major development late Monday, Marcos's executive secretary and budget secretary both resigned after allegations linking them to the scandal. Analysts say the protests have dealt Marcos a serious blow, but have not yet placed his presidency in immediate danger, as the armed forces leadership reaffirmed it will not support unconstitutional efforts to oust him. With the protest ending early, the government has gained what experts call a much-needed breathing space, though public anger over corruption is unlikely to fade. The Trillion Peso March movement, which organized a massive rally in September, has already announced another major protest on November 30th, signaling more street pressure and no imminent end to the crisis gripping the Marcos administration. As the Philippines grapples with corruption allegations, political rivalries, and public anger, the future of President Marcos's leadership remains uncertain, and we will continue to monitor every development closely. So make sure you subscribe to our channel The Indian Express for more updates and in-depth coverage from around the world.